uniqueness of Caleb Williams, the projected #1 overall pick quarterback out of USC, deciding not to share his medical records with any team. This has never happened before. Drew, what do you make of this?
Well, I think ultimately, Will, he's only going to be available for maybe 1 or 2, 3 teams anyway. It's going to be the #1 pick of the draft. So it's either the Bears or somebody trading up. So he doesn't have much to worry about. When you're the first pick of the draft, you can pretty much do what you want. It's a franchise quarterback. Ultimately, people get his medical records. It's not a story, in my opinion.
Uniqueness of Caleb Williams, the projected #1 overall pick quarterback out of USC, deciding not to share his medical records with any team. This has never happened before. Drew, what do you make of this?
Well, I think ultimately, Will, he's only going to be available for maybe 1 or 2, 3 teams anyway. It's going to be the #1 pick of the draft. So it's either the Bears or somebody trading up. So he doesn't have much to worry about. When you're the first pick of the draft, you can pretty much do what you want. It's a franchise quarterback. Ultimately, people get his medical records. It's not a story, in my opinion.
Hey, what's going on, bro? You in here?
Yeah, I'm in here, dog. I'm in the building, dog.
You're in the building, dog. You got your replacement. You got your replacement players. Your replacement laptop going tonight, man. What you got going on over here, man? You got your stuff fixed?
Nah, I ain't got it fixed, dog. I'm over here with duct tape and doggone safety pins right now, boy. This thing limping along, man. I'm on a whole nother laptop. I tried to hook the mic up, the camera, so at least we can give it. But I ain't got my baby. My baby's sitting right here. I'm looking at her, but she over here like looking sad, man. But anyway, we in the building, man. I'm on Hayes Street. We're on the corner of Hayes Street. Over here, you break our fix.
You break our fix. So the other laptop gone. The other laptop on the last leg. That's it. It's over.
If it's not, I got to do something to get the stuff off of it to change it out before I go through this again. So yeah, I'm on the hunt right now. I'm on the hunt.
So listen, that was just Drew Rosenhaus talking about Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams doesn't have an agent. Drew Rosenhaus, basically former USC quarterback Caleb Williams, is the first player in history of the NFL Combine to choose not to share his medical records with all teams. Why is that significant, Hayes? Do you know why that's significant? Like, what problems could that cause for the Bears?
Like I say, he the first one out to do it. It does raise question, right? The medical record part raised question. We talked a little bit about, not to change subject, but we did talk about Marvin Harrison from the athletic side of it, and that can be proven. But we have seen, and this is important, we have seen players go through some medical testing and things pop up. Now, I forget who the basketball player was. I literally just saw this. I want to say it was yesterday. It was a basketball player, and he was talking about he had been tested for something, had never been caught. They caught up from it. It was some kind of syndrome, and it ended up ending his career. It ended his career. So I don't know how that goes. Just calling it what it is. I'm not saying Caleb Williams has anything, but I don't know if something goes in where if it's been put out there prior to him being drafted and signing and whatever else, and people pass because of something that they found. I don't know. This is all speculation. Or is it he maybe wants to guarantee the money, I guess. I don't know. I'm just really trying to pull some out. I'm trying to pull some straight out of my ass, if you understand what I'm saying.
Trying to pull it straight out, dog.
Yeah, but like Drew Rosenhaus said, eventually he's going to get medically examined. And because it's what it is. I mean, we're talking multi-million dollars here, dog. And so you can't hide stuff, So it is what it is. But they'll figure it out and they'll find out.
I think he doesn't have an agent. I think Marvin Harrison, I don't think he has an agent. And me and you got into this conversation about should players have agents.
Cam Ward, not to interrupt you, but Cam Ward doesn't have one.
Cam Ward doesn't have one either.
Not that I heard. I don't think he has one either. That's why he could go for the draft for kind of figure it out and then came back.
That's why he was able to do that, right?
From understanding.
Right. And this is starting to become a thing. Lamar Jackson is known for his mom being the agent, or however, they're navigating through these things. So we put out the question: do these guys need an agent? And Hayes, what do you think? Do you, from your perspective, do you think they need an agent? Like how do you feel about the agent thing?
Okay. I believe these players need representation because they don't know the language. There's a lot of legal jargon in there. It's a lot of verbiage. It's a lot of things that they just don't understand. And I understand that. I think what my biggest problem and what led our conversation maybe a day or two ago was I feel like the agents come in like vultures and they're just circling, waiting, and then swoop down and come in and get 10%. So you look at a person like Caleb Williams who may get, I don't know, 40 million, whatever the contract is. Let's say the first pick, 40 million guaranteed or whatever it is. And the agent comes in and gets 10% of that, $4 million. $4 million.
Right.
And has known this kid for 4 months. And to Caleb Williams' smart part is these contracts, especially the first picks. Now, we ain't talking about second, third, and fourth, and so on. But the first pick, round, I'm talking about second, third, and fourth rounders. But the first pick of the draft is what it is. The numbers are what they are.
Right.
So there's no negotiating. So I'm going to pay you $4 million for what? That's my real question. So shout out to Caleb Williams, his family, and his team of people around him. You know, so do they need an agent? They need some form of representation in this deal. But if I'm strictly talking about the first round of the Calebs and so forth, I say no. Keep that $4 million in house.
For a long time, bro, I felt that way. And looking from outside looking in, you've heard the agent stories, crazy stories about agents and sending the agent sending them to the financial advisor and the financial advisor taking money, and crazy stories I've heard about agents. Until you know what I'm saying, I got in business with a guy who's really big in marijuana, and he's my partner in Footballville now, and he started a sports agency, right? And the premises of starting a sports agency was like, it's called FOL sports agency. It was like, hey, listen, I'm filthy rich. I don't need their money. But I see athletes as, and this was his pitch to me when I sat down with him the first time I met him at Big Beach House in Miami. I see athletes as guys with big brands and with money to invest. Basically, I'm on my way to be a billionaire, and I can kind of see how these are the perfect guys to create an investment, like an investment team portfolio. This is how he pitched it to me. Like, I see, he was like, I don't think the agents are getting out the players like what they possibly could be getting. I think it can go further with the players.
Explain that a little bit. Explain that, because I'm kind of lost. What I mean.
Because when I created IOD Squad because I realized these guys were getting to the door, getting millions of dollars, and didn't know what to do with it. Right?
Okay.
And then you had vultures standing around just trying to take their money, right? When you get money, one of the hardest parts is keeping money.
Okay.
The agency was created so it can go in and basically help the kids become entrepreneurs. Like, no, listen, your first contract, which everybody says your first contract, you don't get paid to your third contract. No, not true. Your first contract, you could really do something with that money if somebody told you what to do with it.
That's correct. I agree with that.
Right. So instead of focusing on I'm gonna get 6% from this guy, hey, how about we make 50 million together? Because I know business and you have money. I already have money, but I know business, but I can always use a guy to invest over there or a guy to invest over there. And now we have a portfolio. Now we have a team of investors, right? So that's kind of how the agency was started from that standpoint. Like, yeah, man, I think I could actually help these guys and change the game so it doesn't look the way you explained it. Now, going through a whole year of watching these kids, right? Watching these kids, watching them get money, watching how they see agents, watching what agents have to go through. What I realized was that the only thing the kids, for the most part, knew how to do was play football
and spend money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So now they know how to play football, and a lot of them, not all of them, some of them come from good families, but a lot of them, they know how to play football. Their families see them on TV. Their families think they're rich. In college already, their families think they're rich. He has no clue about anything that's going to happen in college, in the process, paying taxes. No clue. So what I realized, the agent, as I watched this year and what the agents did every fucking thing. They were like the kid's eyes and his ears. It was like going camping and not having a guide to go through the forest. And that's when I realized the purpose of a good forthright agent. You know what I'm saying? Is because these kids are going to navigate, and it happens fast too. One day you broke in high school, and then the next day you're in college with some money. People asking you to borrow money. Your friends acting funny. You know what I'm saying? And it happens fast. And it's like, now who do I look to? Right. Because hey, you know, a lot of them get there on their own. They may have a mama working 20 hours a day. And you know what I'm saying? And he had the talent and he got there. So now it's him and that mama there trying to understand the draft process, trying to understand, what do I do to get out of college? Bro, I realized that it was, I realized that, holy shit, some of these guys do need some, other than the representation, because the lawyer part could be the one that negotiates your contract, right? A lawyer could negotiate a contract. First rounders don't even need anybody to negotiate a contract. It's already slotted. Correct. But there's so much other things that is happening to these kids. You got guys coming in and saying, hey man, I give you $1 million. No, 100,000 now if you give me something like 3% for your first 2 contracts. It was a company out there doing that. I'll give you 500,000 now if you give me 2% for your first 2 contracts in the NFL. They did it to baseball players and college players. We got on the phone with them people, man, and told them people about themselves. Because $500,000 is a lot of money to a freshman in college or a sophomore in college, right? But what they were going to get in return was crazy. They did it to a baseball player.
So hold on, let me make sure I'm clear and understanding. You're talking about a freshman in college was approached by an agency saying,
college,
I'm gonna front you 500,000 for the next over these 3-year period, because you got to be in baseball, not as much, but let's just say 3-year period.
Right.
God, oh man, bro, I don't see how people put you in group chats and you can't get out of them. Anyway, I'm having a great day. Bro, you hear my phone, dog? Like, what is
I hear it, dog.
Bro, like, you think one of the homies got hit? Look, just crazy. Look. It's stupid, dog. Anyway, so 3 years, so you get 500,000. The company Hayes Sports Agency approaches D Streeter and say, hey, I'm gonna give you 500,000. This is your freshman year, you're 18 in college.
Right.
But once you go pro, well, you basically have already signed me up as your agent for the next 2 contracts.
They wasn't agents. See? They were just a
Imagine.
company. They were like loan sharks or something. I don't know what they were. Because you can't sign him in college as an agent until he plays his last game. You can only be an NIL fake agent. So they were like loan sharks. They were like putting the kid, you know what I'm saying, under contract. And I don't know what they were coming in as. They had to figure out a loophole to get the kid under contract.
So how is that different? Let me just follow me there. So how would that be different? I heard this. I heard this, and I don't know if it's true or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mean any. I hope I'm not making a defamatory statement here.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard Drew Rosenhaus had something similar. He has Drew Rosenhaus, the sports agency, but then when the NIL thing came in, even though it was Drew Rosenhaus, it was two separate entities. It was the NIL portion, right? So maybe that's the loophole. That company.
Yeah, okay, so I'll explain it to you. The NIL portion of it is just you can't lock these kids down. So you can say, hey man, we'll go get you some NIL deals, and then you create a relationship with them. But you can't put them in contract. They can't sign to be in your agency until they play their last game.
Right. But what I'm saying is, if I go in as I'm Hayes Sports Agency over here, but then I got Hayes NIL entity over here. Right. And I go to you, Street, at 500,000, blah, blah, blah. Again, I'm not putting you in a contract, but I'm basically asking you, saying, hey, look, I'm going to make sure I take care of your NIL. This is basically how I work when it comes to the sport agency. I can't sign you until the last game, but I'm saying, look, I'm basically going to give you this 500,000 for a sports agency. I mean, for an NIL thing. And because that relationship will cultivate over the next 3-year period, it's an easy transition from Hayes NIL to Hayes Sports Agency.
Right.
Is that kind of what you're thinking they were doing?
That's in a perfect world for an agent that it will happen that way. That company was saying, I'm gonna give you 500,000 a day, and you owe us your next 2 contracts. It was I forget the percentage of it. I could find you. They weren't agents. Like they weren't giving any services. They weren't agents. They were fronting them money to get money back. Right. The agent, now I'm gonna tell you about the agent, the other side of the agent. The agent can come in, right, and under the table somehow figure out a way to give a kid 100,000, right? And hope that the kid signs. Guess what's happening, Hayes?
They're taking the money and run.
They're taking all of it. And when they run out 100,000, guess what they do?
Go to another agent and
go to another agent.
Yeah.
And is it their fault? No, it's not their fault, because what's happening is they're getting the money and they blowing the money. So you go back to the agent and you say, man, I needed another. And if he say no, they go to another agent. So guess who just lost?
The agent.
The agent. Right. And that's rampant.
I'll say this. I'm just calling it what it is. That's the gamble you take, because really what you're doing is illegal. So it's like the dope game. If somebody come rob you, if somebody come take your 3 keys, you can't call the police. You just got to eat that loss. Because
I'm glad you said that. And I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, because you walked in there under illegal pretense, right? In the sense of, hey, I'm giving, like you say, I'm getting to you under the table. Well, if shorty dip and run on you, only thing you could do is, I hate him. But other than that, you can't report him. You can't send him to collections. You're playing the game. But go ahead, talk to me.
But what happens in the dope game? What happens in the dope game when somebody gets you like that, right? What eventually happens to the person that gets got, right? What happens?
You mean like somebody stole from me? Stole the dope from me?
Right. What usually happens?
Either I go find that dude. Is that what you're trying to say?
What happens is that what you just explained was, hey, listen, man to man, bro, listen, I'm gonna look out for you. Family fucked up right now. Here go 100,000. And then you look me in my eye and say, man, we straight, yeah. And then you go somewhere else, right? So what happens is the agents start protecting themselves. It's only right? You can't just keep thinking that people got that a man is looking you in your eye and saying, "Yeah, man, we straight," and then he lying. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep doing that. So then the agent starts protecting themselves, and that's when you start hearing the things of the agents getting their money back, or the agent's fronting him money, but he got to get the money back. It ain't necessarily about getting the money back. It's more so about now you locked in. You feel like you owe the agent. Right. Now you locked in. You feel like you owe them. Recouping things from them. Oh, listen, you good as long as you if you fire me on the back end, you're gonna have to pay for that, pay for all of that, for that. And they doing that to protect themselves because what you just explained happens. If you
So
if you try to go in there, nice guy.
Yeah, but here's the deal. I don't have an issue with you paying a person back. It's like an advance in the record company, right?
Right.
The record deal, the record executive record companies advance this rapper $500,000 so he can get the rapper starter kit. I got to get the chain, I got to get the car, I got to get the goals, I got to get all that stuff. So I get it.
Right.
But I think the difference is because there's no contracts involved, you're dealing in illegal activity. That's one, right? And I'm not trying to be the saint of all saints here.
Right.
I'm not trying to be Saint Hayes, the patron saint of athletes around here, but that is the risk you take because you're doing it outside the realm of what's supposed to be happening. That's one. Second is you're trying to get a jump on all other agencies. That's why you're really doing it. You're trying to build that relationship early so you don't lose out to maybe a powerhouse like a Drew Rosenhaus. I'm not saying Drew doesn't do that either now. I'm not accusing him, but I'm just saying, so when Big Drew walked through the door and I'm just starting my agency, I about done lost out. I can't tell you I got over $4 billion worth of contracts signed under my agency when you my first client. You see what I'm saying? So I get where you're coming from. I'm not disputing anything you're saying, and I understand why agents do that. I think my biggest issue I have is when agents come in at the 10% valuation and say, okay, I want 10%. And we're talking on the up and up here. I met you at, let's say, after your last game, which is December. I got till April to get you set, which is 4 months from now. And I'm getting $4 million off this contract. Yes, I'm fronting you some things, but I don't know if I'm fronting you $4 million. And we're not talking about, I'm not talking about the lower tier guys. We're talking about the heavy hitters, the Caleb Williams, the Marvin Harrison Jr.'s, the top 10, 15, 20 picks is what I'm kind of looking at. And I understand what you're saying. They do other things than just NFL content. I get it. I totally understand. I think my problem is there are more agents not doing what your guy is trying to do than what they're trying to do. What he's trying to do is the anomaly. He's trying to take their money and back to our seed analogy. He's trying to show them how to plant a seed. When the agents are saying, I'm just going to eat off your seed instead of eating off mine. That's the deal. And I think that's where
it is a different. That's why I took him out of it, because he's a business. He's not he's a businessman. You know what I'm saying? The agents can't do it because they're agents. They don't understand business like that. But he sees it as business. So that's why I took him out of it and just had this conversation about like traditional agents. Now the coming in late, right? That part. What I found out was if you get on a kid early, right? You get on a kid early and you're taking care of them, because at that point, bro, they're calling the agent for everything. Oh my God. Every piece of trouble they get in, every time somebody try to get them locked up in a marketing deal, and you know what I'm saying? They're calling them for everything. But if you get in,
million, I'm gonna call you too. For 10%, I'm calling you for everything too.
See, but you that 4 million, like you just talking about Caleb Williams. After Caleb Williams, that money started going down, down, down. So you're talking about Caleb Williams, because it's only like I think 3%, 6% they get, something like that. You know what I'm saying?
I thought it was talking about 10. That's where everybody's talking about 10. That's why I left it at 10.
Man, some of these CAA, some of these big ones ain't even taking percentages. It's a crazy game. They're not even taking percentages. It's kind of like the big ones have made so much money that they're just taking names. Hey man, Dallas Turner, come on, we need you because you look good to the next person. Because we know there's a dummy somewhere coming, right? That has no clue what's going on, and he needs us. Maybe Dallas Turner don't need us, right? But it looks good to have him in our portfolio.
So it's the rich get richer thing. Hold on, real quick. The chat ain't moving over here. Is it people still on this thing, man? Ain't nobody put no question up, dog. It's 12 minutes, dog. How many people we got in the chat, Street? I'm tripping.
It ain't that many. I mean, they're like 21-19. You know, the Wednesdays.
Somebody better get that typing. Coach hot right now.
Gregory was typing. It ain't that many in there. You know, it's a hurricane. I bet you. You know, it's a. We here.
All right. Okay, well, I make sure we ain't talking to cyberspace. Because we don't have this conversation off the air. I don't need to have it talking to nobody now. But anyway.
Right. So I just want to being able to experience both sides, right? And I knew Hayes' side. And what we're saying is kind of both true, right? There are some bad agents out there, but I see why things look the way they look. But I'm just trying to give you the other side of it. Why do they come in at the final minute? Because if you don't come in at the final minute, you get outbidded.
Well, you have to. I mean,
right. So that's why it looks the way it looks. You know what I'm saying? That's why it looks the way it looks. But it's not for everybody. Like I don't think a Dallas Turner needed an agent. I don't think a Marvin Harrison, whose dad played in the league. You know what I'm saying? He may not need one. Now, if you're just gonna say you don't need one just to say you don't need one, and you willy-nilly don't have a fucking clue what you got going on,
you're in trouble.
You might be in trouble, right? Right. So it's not for everybody. I watched Duke Johnson hire 2 agents, Conor McGregor's agent, who back at the U, and then hire Luke's wife, who was a lawyer, to watch the agents.
That's right.
The lawyer, Luke Skywalker's wife, became his agent and signed his second contract, Kristen Campbell. And he eventually fired the agents.
Right. So here's what else I want to say. And I think there's always inner workings, right? We see a Ferrari because we look at the outside, the shell. We don't really know how the engine works, the Bugatti or whatever. They tell me you need 2 keys or whatever the case may be. And what you're saying, I'm glad you're shedding light on it, especially about, you're dealing with your buddy and so forth. But I'm going to take this a step further, Street.
Okay.
I'm going to take this a step further, dog.
Let's go.
I like to throw the fist up, dog. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Let's go.
Light-skinned warrior on my dark-skinned path. I think, and I told you, I hate the book bag drives. I hate them. I despise them.
The book bag drives.
I swear, dog, I hate them. And everybody, but why, Coach? The old thing is what? Give a man a fish to eat for a day, teach him how to fish, eat for a lifetime.
Right.
And when we do book bag drives, we're giving fish away. And we're giving bluegills, dog. We ain't even giving big mouth bass, trout, group of snappers. We giving out bluegill and brims. I've always said, and I may be wrong, and this may not be the job of the agent. And I'm leaning to your buddy from the business side of things. But here's what I would always want to say, because they always need a community component in their portfolio of philanthropy, right? I understand that. But we are in a world, and I know you're going to tell me they don't think like this, but just let me ramble for a minute. We're in a world right now where we are in a, did he just get up and walk? You lucky my slap button don't work. Man, let me talk to y'all. Let me talk to you, America. Shout out to Bernie Mac. Let me talk to you, America. Our athletes got to do better. Our athletes got to do better. We got to do better when it comes to the youth. If we're going to do community activism, then let's activate the community. I slapped you, Street. I don't have my slap button.
Man, we the boss of this, man. We don't work for ESPN. Yeah. Get up when I want to. Watch this.
So what I was saying was, here's a perfect example. We're in the world of technology right now.
Right.
Okay. We are in that world. I've said this before on shows, and I'm gonna say it again because we're on the corner of Hayes Street, where everything we say is true. Regardless of how 2 + 2 is 7, it's 7. What I'm saying, Streeter, is if I'm a football player, I played at the University of Miami. I'm going to the school board of Miami. Go talk to Dr. Gallen, Steve Gallen. Give me your top 50 STEM students in 10th grade. And I'm paying for the STEM summer camp at UM. Now I'm teaching the kids how to fish outside of a lotto ticket. And what do I mean by a lotto ticket? We all know that sports is a lottery ticket. We talked about this. 1 million kids play high school football. Only 1% of them make it to college.
Right.
Out of that 1%, only 1% make it to the pros. And out of that 1%, they have an average career of 3 years, 2.6 to 3.1, something like that, years in the league. So we're talking a lottery ticket here. Versus, I could take those 50 kids. They don't have to even be football players. And now, here's the beautiful part about it. UM may even do it for free because it's great publicity to them too. I may have to pay a little something, room and board or something like that.
Right.
Now, you could do that to every college across America. You play for LSU or whatever. And whatever their top thing is, agriculture. Let's just say they got a great agriculture program. Right? I could do that. How about this? I know FAMU has one of the top pharmacy programs in the world. HBCU, but regardless, I'll pay for them to go into the pharmacy. I'm just saying, let's teach our community how to fish instead of giving them bluegills and brims, dog.
Give me your complete thought. You're saying that the skill isn't being taught. Like there could be a lot of rich paws coming through the system if somebody invested in it.
So, for example, let me go back to the agent. That's why I'm bringing the agent, tying them in to what your buddy's doing, talking about business. Your buddy, okay, let's just call it what it is. Let's talk about it. Your buddy, part of his business is the marijuana, correct?
Yeah, biggest marijuana facility in Arizona.
Okay, great. Now, we ain't talking about high school kids in the marijuana, but marijuana does need apps. They need coding. They need like all of these type of things. So imagine if your buddy has like say he has a player, D Streeter, top player in the country. He puts in 50 kids to University. Let's take Duke, for example, because Duke, the hot boy out here. Duke is part of that. Duke puts the kids from Dade County through this thing at UM in the summers for the next 3 years. They end up getting scholarships, maybe to Miami for this. Now they already got a tie-in, but now we're teaching people how to code. They now can go on to Silicon Valley and work in Google. They can work in this, that, and the other. But we're giving exposure. And shout out to Fred Taylor. I know he's a Florida Gator, but he's always said this. Exposure leads to expansion.
Right.
And the problem is a book bag doesn't expand anything. It doesn't. You want to know why? Because they're all using laptops. Here's the sad part about it. Streeter, I sent you a picture last week. What was it a picture of? 2 big crates of them.
Book bags.
2 huge crates. Am I lying?
Yeah, no, man.
So what I'm saying is we optically we look like we're doing a great job, but technically we're putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like just tradition, one following the other, no thought being put into it.
Correct.
Right, right, right. Um, I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying, but that goes back to like, yeah, that goes back to giving a kid a bunch of money that didn't do anything but backpedal and survive his hood for 20 years. Who taught him how to who taught him how to go back to his community? I tell people all the time, and we can get really deep here. Like,
Hold on, Street, because you know why? Hold on, I'm sorry to interrupt you. You
uh-huh.
want to know why?
Right.
Because those same ball players gave him a fish one day at a summer camp when they were off.
Right.
But imagine if that kid learned how to fish when he was in 8th and 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and it turned into whatever. I say all that to say, same thing with, and I'm just calling names here because we know the names. Let's say Magic Johnson, huge in the business, do the same thing on that sense. How to open like the Starbucks. I'm just talking about taking these young kids, and all of them not gonna make it. Shout out to Trick. Let's face it, everybody ain't gonna make it. However, you know, I just think that this is the time now where we as a people have had more money than ever before. These contracts are astronomical, and use your celebrity and leverage to do those type of things. And we're talking about players across the country.
Hey, you know what, Hayes? I realized, and you said the top kids in the school, so they may want it. But you know what I realized? You know the story. You know the story that I told you about shares and people not understanding shares in the company. What I realized was you could want to do right by people or help people, but they have to want it.
Agreed.
I found out why the rappers give the younger rappers chains. The agents give the athletes chains. I figured out why. Because we look at it and we say, damn, that's a $40,000. He gave him a $40,000 chain, and you see the boy, he wearing the chain. He got the FOL chain on, and he got the chain on, and you like, man, he could have took that money and did something and put it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I realized, Hayes? You have to meet people where they are. Because if you offer them something over their head, guess what? They ain't gonna fuck with it. Yeah, don't matter.
And to your point, that's why I said you don't have to target football players. I'm saying be a football player that targets the ones outside. And now you've also, as an athlete, have made an impact. That's why I said if you went to Steve Gallen, right? I think he's still on the school board in Dade County. I'm not sure. And you say, give me your top 50 STEM students in Dade County. I don't care what school particularly, but they have that data. They know who those kids are. And I want to sponsor them into these STEM programs. So now we're getting more of these kids into the coding, into making apps. Hell, if I could find a editor or a person that could work on this, things that work outside of being in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And it's whatever your passion is. I just said STEM. If let's just say, for example, if you're an athlete and hell, we see them all doing podcasting. Well, guess what? Sponsor those kids into this kind of stuff, producing movies, whatever it is. But I'm saying, let's think bigger than, oh, I'm a football player. I got to do sports related stuff because we're talking lotto ticket here, dog.
Yeah. I think they try, man. I think they try to do things sometimes. And what kind of happens sometimes is they realize how hard it is to navigate once you become this big. You go to somebody and ask them to do something simple. Hey, Steve Gallen, I need to find out who the top 10% kids in blah, 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 blah. And somehow he charges you $50,000. Only you now. And then they start becoming cold with people because now they don't know who to talk to.
I could agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, and now you already didn't know how to navigate. Now you don't know who to trust. And then you ever met somebody that made it, Hayes, and you talk to them, and it's almost like you're talking to a shell of a person?
Yes. Yes.
Because they don't know who to trust. They don't know who's here for money. And everybody sees them as and they become this person. You know what I'm saying? Because if they told you half the stories they go through, you'll be like, man, what?
And I think, to your point, Street, and I hate to interrupt you, but I'm glad you brought that piece up about trust.
Uh-huh.
There's somebody in the majority of these kids, I'm not going to say all because it's never 100%, but there's somebody in these kids' circles, and you know where I'm going with this, read between the lines, that there's a trust factor in. The problem is when the guys pull up with the $10,000 suits, hair slick back, Mercedes-Benz, talking that talk, it sounds good until they get screwed. When somebody has been walking this walk with you, because that's why I be talking about the agents coming in late. When somebody been walking this walk with you, taught you how to put on your pads, taught you how to get this, how to do these things, how to get there. And then those are the first ones they turn on. And I've seen that numerous times from numerous players, that the one gets you there, it's almost like, all right, you took me as far as you could take me. Now let me drop you off. Versus what they don't realize that person possesses is their safety and their coverage at all cost. Meaning, no, I may not have been in them NFL thing, but guess what? I know some smell fishy, and I'm gonna ask the tough question. Shout out to Lamar Jackson, mama. You see what I'm saying?
Question, dog?
Well, that's a tough question. Why? Because your job is to protect them at all costs. You understand? Your job, that's your job. Because guess what? You've been doing it your whole life. You've been walking the walk with them the whole life. You've been protecting them from coaches trying to poach them to other parks, from coaches trying to poach them to other schools, to people trying to take advantage of them. You've been protecting them your whole life, and now why would you stop?
You wouldn't stop. But how far do you want to go?
If your job, if you have taken that role to protect them on this journey, you stop when their career is over, or you stop when it stops, meaning it doesn't stop. It's just like a mom and a child, right? Your mom right now, you what, 47 years old, 45 years old, Street?
Yeah.
Your girl still, baby, you all right? You want something to eat when you walk in the house? Right? That's her job.
Okay.
Am I right or wrong?
I think here's the problem.
Okay.
And I'm gonna bring this up with you and Joe. Tell me to stop. Here's the problem. Most coaches that coach kids say those famous words.
What's that?
I don't want nothing from them. I just want them to be successful.
True story.
So when the conversation of money comes up, usually those guys that raised you shy away from it, because they don't want you thinking that they want anything from you. Yes or no?
That's you mean talking about so far as the money conversations?
Right, the money conversations, when he gets into money, it's almost like we from the community always say, I don't want. It's almost like we take pride in saying, I ain't here for the money. But somebody needs to be there for the business, right? So with you and Joe Milton's going to be a first-round draft pick, right? You coached him, you raised him, everything, right? Would you have moved to Tennessee with Joe Michigan when he got to be his guardian, like to be his guardian, to be there with him? Would you have moved to Michigan and left your job?
I would say this: if I felt that I needed to do that, I would have done that if I felt the need to do it. Man, I swear, dog, please, y'all don't ever put nobody in group chats.
Do not disturb, dog.
Hey, I don't have that. But anyway,
but
I got a mouth.
I heard what you were saying was I don't want nothing from Joe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want Joe to be happy and to succeed. That side of it is almost like we talk ourselves out of that side of it. And guess what? The other guys come in and do. They come in and they talk to him about that uncomfortable.
You can hear me? The devil always worked, boy. Soon you froze for a second. The devil.
Yeah,
hey,
we both.
I tell you, when I write a book, I already got the title of my book. It's called "The Devil Works on Game Day." That's what it's called. Title. So if anybody steal it, I'm
right. So hey, so when he looks around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who is it that he's saying he could take with him? Yeah, you guys all got his best interest in hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is Rod Mack finna get on the plane with me and move to Tennessee? Is Coach Hayes finna get on the plane with me and go to Michigan? Usually what the thought process of is that I don't want nothing from him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we take ourselves out the conversation. Because it's not about it's even taboo to bring up money with them. Like we feel uncomfortable even bringing up money with them. It's almost like taboo. Like, nah, man, I ain't here for money. It's almost like you get now I ain't here for no money. You got to prove to everybody you're not here for the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he think I'm hanging around Joe for the money. I don't need Joe money. And then what you're doing is releasing them into the wild. When you probably should be saying, like Coach Mo and Shamar, oh no, oh no, we're here for it together, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what we say is the opposite, and we try to prove to everybody, I ain't in Joe life for the money. I ain't trying to get nothing from him because they standing back there saying, man, he just being with him because he's Joe Milton. Why he don't do it with his safety, right? But Joe Milton needs your help,
right?
But we're too prideful to look at it and say that. You know what I'm saying? We too busy trying to show everybody else. Oh, love him, Joe.
I agree. I can agree with that, right? I've said that. And when I said that, meaning it's a thing of I think it's another way of saying I'm not going to be here to be your yes man. Meaning I'm going to tell you no. You could call him today. I tell Joe no in a minute, but I also tell him yeah, but I don't have no problem telling him no. So when I say I'm not here for the money, meaning I'm not going to, if I'm going to be a part of this with you, I'm not going to be the person just to say yes because you have the money. Because I was also the dude that said no when you didn't have it. I'm also say no when you do have it. And that's where I think, so what you're saying, yes, is true. But what I'm also saying in that same breath is saying, I'm not here to tag along with you because you're going to be a millionaire in another month. I'm here to protect you. And sometimes those protective words are not what they want. Because your age and wisdom shows you that around that corner is danger. And I survived it. And I don't want you to go through it. And you know how it is as a kid. Mama, why I can't have the candy?
Right.
Because that's what they want. But my job is to be the one that says, wait a minute. No, you don't need the $40,000 chain right now. No, you don't need, I don't mind you buying a house. But bro, you just signed for $20 million and you bought a $15 million house. This ain't gonna work. When the agent, and I'm really just being very general, hey, go for it. Because he's not going to tell him no. And the reason he's not going to say no for the most part is because he doesn't want what? The peace sign. Man, this dude won't let me do nothing. Man, I'm going to find somebody who's going to say yes. So when I say I'm not here for the money, meaning I'm not here to let you eat off your seed. I want you to eat off the fruit that the seed bears.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, look, bro. Hey, Joe, you just signed for X amount of money right here, 20 million. No, let's not go by Jacob the Jeweler to the first stop. Let's not do that.
But I think the conversation need to change, Hayes. I think it needs to be I am here because you about to be a millionaire. Because guess what? I don't want you to end up on 30 for 30 broke.
That's right.
Yeah. I think the conversation needs to change. I think it needs to be, no, I am here because you about to embark into some shit where there's a bunch of wolves standing on the other side.
Hey,
And
sharper
you
than
need
their teeth.
right, and you need somebody that you knew trusted you when your ass couldn't buy a frozen cup, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need somebody by. I don't told this to daddies, dog. I don't told this to fathers that was saying the same thing. I don't want the mama to think I'm there for no money. Hey, listen, bro, you out of your son life. He
Right.
needs you right now. Like, let's wake up. Like, like let's wake up. Who cares what she thinking? I know he needs you. And guess who is talking to him about the money?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else around him.
I
So,
agree. And
right.
so for me and him, we've had those talks about money. Hours.
Mm-hmm.
Look, bro, I understand. I know where you're coming from. I know where you're headed. I know where you're going. And that's why I say to myself, because for me, and this is why I know I'm rambling a little bit, but follow me on this. You ever heard those things where they say, what's your backup plan? Right? What happened if that don't? What's your backup plan?
Right.
I learned a long time ago not to use that, because you instantly turn players off because you have said without saying they're not going to make it. Right? That's all they heard.
right.
That's what they heard.
Oh, he don't believe in me.
He don't believe in me. So here's what I've always said, and I've said this to him. And it's ironic you put that picture up there, him. That's funny. I didn't even picture that was him up there. I just saw it right now when I looked down. I've always said to him, what's your retirement plan? Because you're going to stop playing this game at some point, whether you are the exception to the rule like Tom Brady and retire at 45, or you retire in 45 days. Right. But the cleats will hang up at some point. And when you wake up the next morning, you're going to do something. Now, I don't mean that literally the next morning, but you know what I mean. You know, even Tom Brady, once he started retiring, yeah, he went on vacation, whatever, but eventually he has to do something. He's young, 45. And so I said the same thing to him. Let's take a shot at Duke Johnson right now. Put him out there. He played, he retired instantly. Now he's getting into coaching. He's now doing something else. But here's the beauty of it. He can now coach for the love of it instead of the money of it. Because if his money works for him, you get where I'm coming from?
Right.
I'm just using him as an example, meaning he doesn't have to chase the bag in coaching when he can chase more of the right opportunity. So let's say Duke is at Miami right now. And let's say, for example, in 2 years, University of Miami wants to offer him $700,000 to be the running back coach. Right? But the Miami Dolphins say, hey, I want you to be the assistant running back coach for $200,000. Now he can make, he's not a bag chaser. He can make a great decision to say, I may take a $500,000 loss, but once I get in the league, what's the long play here?
Right.
Because his nest egg is producing fruit. His seed is producing fruit for him through his league play.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it.
And that's where I'm going. That's what I was saying about him. So I'm saying, Joe, you say you always want to be a business person. Fine. Didn't say what particular business. Fine, no problem. But I did a walking video the other day to exercise my thoughts. And I was talking about these players once they finish and they do something else. Let's say he want to open an insurance agency. Hell, I don't know. Whatever. But he can use the fruits of his labor to start that and not have to start from the ground versus walk around with a T-Pain big ass chain that he don't even remember what happened to it, and he paid up millions for it. Those are the kind of things those are the kind of things I'm saying. So I think me and you are talking the same way. We're saying the same exact things here, but just a little different. But yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't mean to like call you out with Joe. I just know that was an example because it's all coaches. Like that's the mentality. It's like I remember riding to the Lakeland game with a coach, and he was like, "Man, I don't want no money from blah blah blah." Like, That ain't why. Like overly trying to prove that ain't why I'm here.
Yeah, because there's a stigma to it, dog. It's a stigma to it. It is. Just like Coach Mo and Shamar Stewart.
Yeah.
They've been blasting Coach Mo because he went to Texas A&M. Man, Coach Mo got paid because he went over there. Well, guess what? I'll be the first one to tell you. So what? Coach Mo moved that man in the house. Coach Mo got a family of his own. Coach Mo has sacrificed a lot. Coach Mo done left his own kids to go take him to camps and do things that, not to call out his other family, but that his family didn't necessarily do. So if that's part of their process and part of their agreement, I don't have no problem with it. I really don't.
Right. And he got him, yeah. And he got his best interests. And that's the part that nobody could ever gauge.
Best interest.
Yeah, he got his best interests at heart. Like, and that's the part that anybody can never gauge. See, but I always tell people, well, if Coach Mo that he is handler and he if he love kids, why he don't do it for all the kids? Well, tell me this. So what are you telling me? You're saying that you want Shamar Stewart to walk in there with Jimbo Fisher and negotiate his own deal?
Right.
Let the kid make his own decision.
Mm-mm.
What you doing with your kids? You letting your kids walk around here willy-nilly at 17 make their own decisions?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, man. When it comes to that fan stuff, man, that forced me to go look up and start researching emotional intelligence. that Shamar Stewart situation when he chose Texas A&M, and I saw grown men attack him and Coach Mo. And the same grown men would have did the exact opposite if he chose Miami. And I started saying, wait.
You would have praised him.
Like, wait. This don't make sense.
Look, and the Texas A&M fans would have sounded like the Miami fans. Man, he just stayed in Miami because he got the bag. So that part I never worried about. Like,
yeah,
you know, that part I never.
But it made me question people. I started saying to myself, what is that make grown folks act like that and not even realize that they're acting like that?
Fandom.
It's emotional intelligence. Like when your emotions are involved, you don't think straight. You're not thinking straight about your kids. Or he said something about my mama. Anytime your emotions get involved, you start thinking a little. Your logic kind of goes out the window.
Listen, listen. We can even bring in Deion Sanders and his kids. If people think that Deion Sanders is not going to take care of his kids, then they're out there ever loving mine. If you think that Deion Sanders is going to give more attention to the third string 3 technique than his own sons, you love I've never used this term, daddy ball, with him. I've never used. I hear all this. Oh, they daddy ball. He want his kid. Now, will I agree? I can't agree that I'm like they need to run the ball more, but I'm never going to say, oh, he's throwing the ball because that's his son. Maybe that is the case. Maybe it's not. And maybe sometimes your views can be jaded because of that. However, you're going to always have favoritism. I don't care who you are. You're going to like some kids better than you like other kids.
Yeah.
You're going to do that. And I've had kids on my team. I told them if I was 16, boy, I'll fight the hell out you right now. Like we would never be friends. They were my like, but we couldn't be friends because personality wise, we just don't click. But me being the coach and being the player is always that relationship. You understand what I'm saying? It was that relationship, and so that's why it's a little bit different in that light because simply because of that, and that's why I say it's interesting, man. But like even back to the Deion Sanders, oh, his kid. Yeah, what? Because if it was your kids, guess what?
Yeah.
Hey, Lil Street, huh?
You be sad with your kids.
He be driving down Big Street, huh? With the truck.
No, man, it's weird because people say, man, all you see is Shador and all you see is and it hit me. We talked about this. It's not Deion running around with a camera. That's his freaking brother.
His brother.
He done put his exactly what we telling y'all to do. He done his brother is in the game. That's his brother running around recording them.
And can I say something? There's something so interesting I think people overlook. The name. The name is not Colorado Football TV. It's Well Off Media.
Yeah.
If it was the Colorado Football Media School of Media and Arts or whatever, and maybe you have an argument. That's why I said, back to my exercising my thought videos. I'm finna go make some tonight. If I play for Colorado, I will have my own channel. I got the marketing king in my backyard. Not in my backyard, literally. He my head coach. So why are now people saying, well, Will of Media only shows, yeah, they only show 4 or 5 guys. I mean, for like so far as the stars of Well Off Media.
Right.
They may focus on a guy that day here and there, but you best believe every video gonna have a Sanders in it. They don't even show a lot of Travis Hunter now. A lot.
They don't.
But Travis Hunter, this is why I love Travis Hunter, dog. The dude started his own channel. He got 280-something thousand subscribers on YouTube. The dude sit up there. I love it. He got his little onesie. That's his little, I'm gonna call it a gimmick, but that's his little niche. The onesie thing. And he did a great video. Boy, if I could build me a wide receiver, who would it be? I'd take the speed of Waddle or Tyreek Hill. I would put the hands of this person. Like, he understands the game. Now, whether he's coming up with these ideas or somebody else, I don't know. But if I go to Colorado, why would I not?
Yeah.
We literally saw me and you talked about this. Kamani McClain put up a video it was 12 days ago, whatever. 200,000 views.
No problem.
No effort.
No effort.
Set the camera up and just start backpedaling, doing some drills. 200,000 views, dog. And people complaining they broke. What?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Y'all crazy. So if y'all think that these people are not gonna take care of their kid out their mind, but I got to get ready to run, dog. I got this show in 4 minutes. I know I'm gonna be a little bit late, but
get on up out of here, dog.
Yeah, man. Give me. I don't see how, dog.
I don't see how Derrick Henry a free agent, dog. They just gonna let him ride.
Damn.
Oh, they just gonna let him ride, dog. I don't see how Derrick Henry. They don't let Derrick Henry be a free agent, and this man out here looking like this. I don't see how cornerbacks got to tackle this man.
Oh, that's crazy, dog. Bro, can I say something that's real crazy though?
What's up?
I know y'all gonna hate me for this, and I'm really just being messy. I don't see how he ain't be a doggone defensive end. He wouldn't be no free agent. He'd be $100 million dude.
You think so?
Bro, what's his size?
I think he's 6'3". Let's see. I think he's 6'3". And damn Derrick Henry. Take a guess. 6'3", 247.
6'3", 247.
He bigger than Dallas Turner, ain't he?
Same weight. He might be an inch shorter than Dallas Turner. But I just say that being funny. But again, it's going to show you like he a free agent, dog, because they devaluing the running back position, man. But let me do this. I don't see how right quick. I don't see how. I already gave one about these group texts. Bro, how do I have 29 unread messages on this group text since we
because they talking without you. They talking without you. Get in there with them, dog.
No, dog, I can't. I don't see how. I don't like text messages. I got 5 text messages and I'm done. I don't see how. I got the blue screen of death, y'all. I need some help, man. Somebody help me, dog.
Ain't no help for that. Ain't no help for that, boy. You got the heal. You got that ninja.
I got that die slow.
Get on up out of here, man. I'll close it out, man. Go ahead.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all, man.
Yo.
Peace, love, and hair grease. Yeah, we
Talk
got
to him.
Hayes Street. Hayes Street, man. Hey, invest or die. Well, if you don't invest, you gonna get the blue screen of death. How about that? We out here, man. Peace.
Yo. This is man 786-405-9499. If you want to get down with IOD Squad, you come watch us trade. We trade. And you can watch our plays. You can watch and see what we do. We talk crypto, all of that stuff. So 786-405-9499. Street. Hayes just got up out of here. And we out.